What if the biggest thing you need to change isn't your schedule, your location, or the people around you? What if it's the way you've been living your everyday life? Because when a man first arrives at Rob's Ranch, there's a lot that's different. The environment is different, the routine is different, the people are different. And for a while, all of that can feel like the biggest adjustment. You're waking up at a different time, following a different schedule, spending your days differently, and learning how to live in an environment where other people are walking through their own journey right alongside you. But eventually, you realize something. The schedule isn't really the point. The routine isn't really the point. They're tools. They're there to create enough structure and consistency for you to start looking at the things you've been overlooking for a long time. Because it's easy to say you're going to change when you're living the same way you've always lived. It's easy to make promises when tomorrow looks exactly like yesterday. But when your environment changes, you suddenly have an opportunity to look at your life differently. And that's one of the things that makes Rob's Ranch different. You're not just being told what to do, you're learning why you do what you do. You're learning how your decisions affect the people around you. You're learning how to communicate, how to handle frustration, how to take responsibility, how to build healthier routines, how to develop discipline when motivation isn't there, and maybe most importantly, you're learning how to live differently when nobody is standing over your shoulder telling you what to do. Because eventually, you have to take what you've learned here and carry it with you. The goal isn't to stay in one environment forever. The goal is to become strong enough, grounded enough, and prepared enough to take what you've learned and apply it to everyday life. That's why the little things matter. Getting up when you said you would, showing up when you don't feel like it, listening instead of reacting, having a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it, taking responsibility instead of making excuses, choosing patience when you could easily lose your temper. Those moments might not look important when they're happening but they're building something. They're building consistency, they're building character, they're building trust. And over time, those small decisions start becoming a completely different way of living. That's what transformation really looks like. It's not one dramatic moment where everything suddenly becomes perfect. It's learning how to make better decisions one day at a time until those decisions become part of who you are. And that's why Rob's Ranch isn't simply about changing your environment. It's about using that environment to build something that lasts beyond it. Because eventually you leave the ranch. You go back to your family, you go back to work, you go back to your community, you go back to everyday life, and that's where what you've learned really matters. So if you're wondering what happens at Rob's Ranch, don't just think about the schedule or the 70 acres or the daily routine. Think about what happens when a man is given the time, structure, community, faith, and opportunity to start building his life differently. That's where the real work happens, and that's where a new chapter can begin. If you or someone you love is ready to take that first step, don't wait until tomorrow. Call Rob's Ranch today and talk with our team about your options. Sometimes changing your life starts with changing your environment. But what you build while you're there is what can change your future.